The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. A theater festival on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Kernersville Auto Museum. We'll tell you more about the museum later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up. We'll get into all sorts of controversy with those guys, so stay tuned for that. Lots of great guest information coming your way in the half hour. Where we want to start those with a special guest, first-time visitor to the show, and what a distinguished guest he is. Jackie Alexander is producing artistic director of the North Carolina Black Repertory Company, also executive producer of the International Black Theater Festival, which is what we're going to talk about today. Good to see you, sir.
Great being here.
Thanks for coming. What would you say is the mission, very briefly, the mission or purpose of the festival?
Larry Leon Hamlin, the founder of NC Black Rep, started the festival to keep black theater alive, really. And that's what still the mission of the festival is, to bring black theater companies from across the globe together, see what each other, what the work we're doing, and just keep it alive, keep it growing.
What's new at the festival?
Biggest new thing, for the first time in the history of the festival, we're reshaping the opening night celebrity gala. We've got a new stage, a new setup. We've got performances from people like Chester Gregory, Angelica Cherie, a Broadway playwright who's opening a new show on Broadway this fall. So that's the biggest thing, and we're really excited about that. It's a whole new experience.
And for fans of The Cosby Show and other things, Felicia Rashad will be there?
Felicia Rashad is being honored with our Lifetime Achievement Award, and she's also going to be performing Wednesday night in Wynton Marsalis's A Fiddler's Tale.
Oh, man. What about returning favorites? Anything that somebody can say, hey, I went there a couple years ago, and any returning favorites this year?
Chester Gregory. Always a big hit at the festival. He'll be back with a new show. West Coast Black Theater Troupe is bringing Marvin, the Marvin Gaye Review. Ensemble Theater, Blue Aside by Toni Morrison's. Ebony Rep is bringing Terry Steele Sings Luther Vandross. So those are always big hits at the festival.
I tell you, it's just a million things going on at that festival. Now, what I mentioned, you wear many hats, and one of the titles, of course, with the North Carolina Black Repertory Company. Will the company itself actually present anything?
Believe it or not, we have 4 shows at this year's festival.
Wow.
We had a really successful season last year, so we're going to be bringing back August Wilson's Fences, Pearly Victorious by Ossie Davis, The Legend of Buster Neal, which is a play I wrote, and Blooming in Dry Season, which won the 2024 Sylvia Sprinkle Hamlin Rolling World Premiere Award and is actually off-Broadway in New York right now. That's a co-production with New Federal Theater.
I'm sitting here, folks, with an award-winning writer, producer, director. So I guess my question to you is, with all these credits, what drew you, what attracted you to Winston-Salem?
When I was in acting school, every actor in New York kept telling me about the National Black Theater Festival, which was the name at that time. And all these amazing people, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, everybody had been through this festival, and they were like, it's in Winston-Salem. I didn't know where Winston-Salem was. But
right.
The first time I came, like so many festival goers, I fell in love with the city. So when I was offered the chance to work here, I was like, there's no better job in black theater.
Why is the festival so important to the community?
I think it brings the community together. First, I think it's a huge advertising tool, not just for the city of Winston-Salem, but for the state of North Carolina. And it brings community together. I think everybody, every resident of Winston-Salem, every resident of the Triad takes pride in this is what we're doing. We're welcoming the world to our community.
Puts money in our pocket, too.
$14.5 million, according to Visit Winston-Salem in 2024, and we're on track to break that.
Oh, wow. All right, up on screen, International Black Theater Festival, July 27th through August the 1st. That's July 27th through August the 1st. You can call 723-2266 for information about tickets and schedules, or you can visit, which I did the other day. It's a great website, ncblackrep.org. Please visit that, ncblackrep.org. I want to do a special thanks and a shout out to Stephanie Pace Brown with Visit Winston-Salem, their website, visitwinstonsalem.com. And as we mentioned on this show before, that's the organization that really drives tourism in our area and supports a lot of great things, including the arts. Jackie Alexander, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help you?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. It's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Back now on Triad Today, I'm a big supporter of, for personal reasons, hospice and the great work that they do. And so I'm very excited about having these two very special guests. And they're special in other ways too. They do a lot of things for great service to families, but they're also married, which you don't often see married people working together, but they do. Kelly Waite is with us. She's a nurse practitioner at Mountain Valley Hospice. Dr. Alex Waite is hospice physician. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Waite, Alex, let me start with you. Who or what led you to a career in hospice medicine?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's quite a bit of things that led me to hospice. First and foremost is my wife. She'd actually worked at hospice first. And then a good friend who's a physician up in Virginia has worked with hospice. And it's really, for me, it's about relationships to my patients. And I feel like I have all the time in the world to really be there and make a difference in their life.
Same question for you, Kelly.
I was just kind of approaching middle age and starting to go through the loss of my own parents and relatives, family and friends as well. And as I saw that loss, it gave me an interest in helping others through that grief process. And also I had been working in primary care like Alex and found that it was really difficult and stressful to be my best self and be the best provider to people in 15-minute increments.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to reach out and find possibly a specialty, and so I talked to different friends who work in different specialties, and a hospice opportunity became available, and I really fell in love with it.
Well, I'm glad you did, and you fell in love with him too, so it was a bonus there. Kelly, while I got you here, and I want to ask both of you this, and I don't mean to be flippant about this, but because you're married, how does that affect the compassion that you have with patients, the time you spend with them, and the relationship? Help me with that.
So I work typically,
Teamwork and the whole thing.
Yeah, I work typically in homes for the majority of my time, but I do round in our inpatient units as well sometimes. And Alex is primarily inpatient, so when we do that handoff and I'm going in after he's been there or vice versa, that's really helpful because we just have a really good communication about what the scenario is and what the family dynamics are and how we
Right.
can support which family member really needs extra support, what the patient's really needing or struggling with. And so we just hand off really well.
Yeah, Doc, that familial / marital sort of teamwork is important in this, right?
It is, and I think the teamwork part is so important in medicine in general. Like for us, she has strengths that I don't have and vice versa. And I love hearing her opinion, just as I do the other physicians at hospice and the other nurse practitioners. And the nurses, of course, I value their opinion so much and listen to them because they'll see things that I don't see.
Right.
And they certainly have strengths that I don't have.
Doc, what about common misperceptions that people might have about hospice? Again, I'm prejudiced because I've been through this with both parents. But what do you think people get wrong about hospice?
I think the biggest misconception that I see is that families sometimes think this is where physicians and the medical community is giving up. Actually, it's just the opposite.
Right.
It's actually where we give more care, more attention, and more attention to detail. And it's where we realize we have to shift our focus of care. And it's actually where we give a lot more care to families and to the patient. And a lot of times they have better outcomes. They really do.
I know with my parents, not to get too personal, but with the situation with my parents, the hospice team became part of the family.
Yeah.
And I know that must have been draining on the hospice team, and how do you guys support each other away from work when you've gone through this with families?
Well, we definitely listen to each other. So sometimes our dinner time conversations might be sort of emotional debriefing when there's something really hard that we've had to deal with.
Right. You can't get away from it. Yeah.
Right, but it's good to have someone who really understands, who knows the work, so you can really talk to that person. And obviously, for confidentiality purposes, talking to a teammate is appropriate. And then we really support each other in just doing our own life-giving things. So for me, that might be going to Pilates or yoga, and for him, he might go run in the mountains or go camping.
So you like to run?
Oh yeah.
That's how you de-stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I just appreciate the work that you two do together, and for so many people, for patients and families, I can't tell you. I want to put this up on screen before I go too long here. MountainValleyHospice.org. It's mtnvalleyhospice.org is up on screen, and I hope you will visit that site with lots of portals for information. Dr. and Mrs. Nurse Waite. It's difficult. How do you address Christmas cards to the two of you?
Alex and Kelly.
Alex and Kelly, that's right. Thanks for doing this, seriously.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today with a very special guest, first-time visitor to the program, Dr. David Syndrome. He's a surgeon with the Novant Health Cancer Institute in Winston-Salem. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you as well, sir.
You have many talents. You've done a lot of surgeries. You've helped a lot of people with cancer. And before we get into this conversation, there's something that you and Bonnie emailed to me about a special kind of surgery. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Will you please pronounce it?
Absolutely. It's hepatopancreaticobiliary surgery, HPB surgery,
And
liver, pancreas, and bile duct surgery.
those are the organs that it covers.
That's
so
exactly
people
right.
get cancer of those organs, and this particular surgery helps. Now, one thing I can pronounce is a histotripsy.
Yeah.
I know what a lithotripsy is. I've had a million of those to get rid of kidney stones. What is histotripsy?
Well, it trips your histo.
Well,
and that's where the term kind of came from. So instead of litho, which stands for stones, histo is tissue. So it busts up tissue.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how does that work exactly?
It's fairly complex, but the way to think about that is if you aim high energy ultrasound waves from 128 ultrasound elements that are all aimed at the exact same point, then right there where these ultrasound waves intersect, you get an amplitude amplification, you get the waves that get really high. If you've ever been boating on a lake, in the beginning the lake is nice and smooth.
Right.
If you have tons of boats sailing all at the same time, the waves can get really, really high just from meeting at some point.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Now, I understand, I'm doing a little reading on this. I think you guys are the first in the Carolinas to offer this procedure.
Yeah.
And especially, why is it such a breakthrough for people who have liver cancer? Why is it a breakthrough?
Well, first of all, it's a brand new technology, but it took 20 years to get here, and I certainly wasn't the one who came up with that technology. But makes this so incredibly novel and important as a new step in liver surgery is that it does not require us to radiate, no ionizing radiation, no heat. With every other previous technology used some form of heat to destroy tumors.
Right.
This can actually just treat and kill tumors on the inside of your liver without even making incisions.
Oh, man.
And erasing tumors by moving this beam, this focus point of this ultrasound beam precisely through a tumor. So we can do the same thing that we used to do with big open incisions. We do that now without even making an incision at all.
I'm just stunned by this. This is just such a breakthrough. I mean, honestly, what future applications do you see for this?
I think there are no boundaries necessarily to this technology to be applied to other organs as well. Kidney, pancreas, those are organs that we've actually trialed this technology in already. But theoretically, any place where we need to destroy tissue, we can use this technology. It's truly groundbreaking.
You were telling me before we started taping the segment, you're from Amsterdam.
I'm from Amsterdam originally. I was born in one of those beautiful canals. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What led you, or who, or what led you to a career in medicine? Was it a father, mother, aunt, uncle, instructor?
Generations of syndromes before me. My
Really?
grandfather was a physician, my father was a physician. And of course then when I was 15, 16 years old, I said, I do not want to be a physician. But then as I started looking into this a little bit more seriously and going through university, I realized that the beauty of being able to take care of other people and applying new technologies and innovate in that space is exactly where I needed to be.
Well, what age were you when you discovered that?
Probably 19, 20, early college, university years. Yeah.
Well, I know what you're saying about at first you wanted to disavow, and break free, but I tell you what, Doc, with all the things you're doing to help so many people, I'm glad you made the decision to do what you're doing. Up on screen, Novant Health Cancer Institute of Winston-Salem. You can call 277-8800 or visit novanthealth.org/services/cancer. Hope you will do that. To Dr. David Syndrome, you are doing miracles, and thank you for all you're doing.
I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to
all
talk
right, young
about
man.
this.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for it, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Back now on Triad Today, and I tell you what, I'm excited about this because two of my great buddies have brought a special guest with them. The buddies I'm talking about, of course, Griff Schuler, David Daggett with Daggett Schuler Law Firm, and their special guest is Dylan Ward. He's a 3-time winner of the Rusty Hart Memorial Race. He's a stock car racing driver. Good to see you.
Hey, Jim.
Welcome, everybody.
Good to see you.
Let me just start with David for a second, then I'll come back over to Dylan. David, remind everybody who Rusty Harp was, because we're talking about this memorial race and why this year is so special.
Yep. Rusty Harp was a local stock car driver at tracks in the Triad area, particularly at Caraway Speedway down by Ashboro. And Rusty was a good friend, was the son of good friends Lynn and Chip Harp, who we've known forever.
Right.
And Rusty died in a farm accident 20 years ago.
Wow.
And Chip and Lynn started a memorial race at Caraway Speedway along with Darren Hackett, the Speedway owner. It was actually Darren's dad at the time. And it's become quite an event over the years. This is the 20th anniversary Rusty Hart Memorial Race on July 4th at Caraway Speedway, and we're calling this the final lap. This will be the last Rusty Hart Memorial.
Well, we've got a guy sitting next to you who's won it 3 times. Dylan, what's your connection with Rusty and his family very quickly, and why is this so special to you?
The biggest time, I knew Rusty when I was a little kid, but I didn't know Rusty as good as I did Chip. My dad started driving for Chip Hart and modified probably a year after Rusty passed, and Dad drove for him for at least 10, 12 years. And
right.
Me and Chip still talk weekly, and I've always been a big part. They've always been a big part of my family since I was a kid growing up. And
I've never talked to a 3-time winner of anything. And
I will tell you, the first time Dylan won, Chip Harp, Rusty's dad, about came out of his skin. He was so excited.
I bet.
For Dylan.
I bet. Well, hey, Griff, now you and David don't just sponsor an event like this. Your whole team, everybody really into it. How does that?
We're all in that night, and it is a night of fun. So our Daggett Schuler team will be there giving out T-shirts. We will be spectators watching, but members of our team will be waving the flags during the events. And so we really enjoy it every single year. Everybody is excited. They bring all their families. So it's a big event for Daggett Schuler and our Safe Sober legacy, and we just enjoy it so much.
Getting a great message out there. Very quickly, Dylan, I mean, what do you do to prepare when you've already won 3, or do you even have to prepare?
I've won in 3 different cars so far, so I'm taking a different one this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're kind of fickle, huh?
Yeah, I've got 3 to choose from, but I'm probably going to take a different one.
Right.
I've actually been running at Caraway. So
David, final thing, do you have to be a race fan to go and enjoy this?
No, it is a fun evening of family fun. It's very affordable. You get to go down on the track and meet all-stars like Dylan in person. He's very personable, shakes hands with everybody that comes up. And a reminder, we've made custom 20th anniversary final lap Rusty Harp t-shirts for the first 1,000 people through the gate. So we will have those to give out. We'll save one for you, Dylan.
That's right.
It's a great design.
It is.
It's a really great design.
Up on screen, Rusty Harp Memorial Race, Saturday, July 4th, as David mentioned. 7 p.m., I understand the gates open, I think, at 5. That's at the Caraway Speedway, and of course, David says it's near Asheboro. It's technically in Sophia, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Sophia. And for tickets, is there a special way to call for tickets, or can you just get them?
You can go online at Caraway Speedway or at the gate.
Okay.
By the way, I'll be riding my bike down there from Winston-Salem if anybody wants to join me.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, folks, I think what we're not telling you is that after the race, Dylan and David are going to race bicycles. No, that's not true. Up on screen also, DaggettSchulerLaw.com, or you can call 724-1234 if you need the assistance of these two fine gentlemen. And Dylan, congratulations on your former wins. Congratulations on helping to keep the spirit of the memorial alive, and good luck with the next race.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jim.
We'll be right back after this.
At Sutton Brothers, we're confident we can help you solve your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
So confident that we'll fix it or it's free. Our highly trained technicians will diagnose your problem and fix it with either a repair or replacement.
And if we can't fix it, you won't pay the trip fee.
So the next time you have a problem, call us.
We'll make sure you're completely satisfied.
Guaranteed.
Call Sutton Brothers today and be confident things will be done right. Schedule online at suttonbros.com.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making health care better for all. The Roundtable is brought to you by Sutton Brothers, locally owned and operated and serving all of your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the Roundtable. But a quick shout out to the good folks here at the Kernersville Auto Museum. Come on out. It's free to see these great classics on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're all priceless, kind of like these three guys. They're priceless. Ogie Overman's with us, of course. We held David Daggett over from the previous segment, and Keith Granberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. All right, guys. In light of a rise in youth arrests throughout downtown Winston-Salem, including an incident in which hundreds of kids swarmed the streets, city councils now think they're going to impose a curfew on anyone 17 years or younger. The curfew would start at 10 at night and end at 6 in the morning. Good idea or bad idea, and will it solve the problem? Ogie Overman.
Well, I hate it's come to that, because that's my favorite area of downtown, in the Arts District on 7th Street. I'm curious. I think it might work.
You do. David Daggett.
Well, I'm internally against the concept.
Yeah.
This might be a decent temporary patch, but it's not a solution. What we have to have is summertime activities, summertime jobs available for young people. We have to give them leadership, guidance, and direction, not impose curfews on a long-term basis. We may need it for a patch, but not long-term.
Mr. Granberry.
I think you need to have activities for the young people. Of course, jobs. I know we used to have jobs at the Urban League. We used to have the summer employment and leadership program.
Right.
And you have to make sure.
And we didn't have this problem when you were head of the Urban League and you had stuff going on for the kids.
Did not have it, but you have to have activities for these kids, because they're modeling after these other cities where they're swarming in and doing these things. And I think that you have to have police protection downtown, but you need to have activities for them.
All right, this fall, voters can approve a cap on property tax and state income tax. If that happens, in order to make up the revenue deficit, local governments might have to impose a higher tax on the sale of goods and services, everything you buy in the store or from doctors' offices, attorneys, whatever. Which is better, higher property taxes or higher sales taxes, Ogie?
I don't think it makes any difference. I mean, it's 6, 7.
Same thing.
Doesn't matter.
David Daggett.
Yeah, I think it does make a difference. I think that sales tax imposes more on the lower socioeconomic people and becomes more of a burden. I think the money's got to come from somewhere. And I think they're playing games that are going to hurt a group of people, and I don't like it.
Keith, higher sales tax?
Yeah, but you know, these tariffs have changed these taxes anyway. It's been a huge burden on small businesses.
Yes.
A huge burden.
Yeah. Bloomberg columnist Abby McCloskey reports only 1 in 4 workers have access to paid parental leave from their employer. She says America needs 6 weeks of federal paid leave for new parents. Guys, are you okay with taxpayers paying for 6 weeks of parental leave for all new parents? Ogie.
Well, I'm fine with that, but I think the employer should kick in as well as the government.
Do a joint thing, David.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. Where's the money come from?
Yeah.
I mean, it takes money to do it. No, I don't think it's a good idea because the money has to come from somewhere, and that's going to be harmful.
Should the employer take care of this, Keith, or what?
I think that it's got to be a combination. I think that, you know, when people have kids, they need that time off, but they also can't afford that time off. So there has to be a combination. And it's very difficult because when you're at a small business, you can't afford to have these people going. So
well, that's right. It cuts into your profit if you're a mom and pop business. Yeah. A man is suing Carnival Cruise Line after he allegedly received second-degree burns on his feet while walking on the Lido deck. In general, guys, not about this case, but in general, should an adult know that a deck floor gets hot, or should a cruise line pay for the injury? Ogie.
One would think that an adult would know not to go out there barefooted. I wouldn't give him a dime.
Well, now you help people in situations with injuries, David.
Yes, I'm with Ogie. Yeah, I'm with Ogie 100%.
So that guy on the cruise is
I one time went to a black sand beach, and they put white sheets down for you to walk on so that you didn't burn your feet.
A black sand beach with
maybe
white...
they need white sheets on the cruise.
No, we don't talk about white sheets. No, we don't talk about white sheets with Keith.
Now you can talk about white sheets as long as they're not on a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know where this is going.
Yeah, where's it headed?
Okay.
I think there needs to be a caution sign up on the deck that says, you know, be careful.
Don't be stupid.
But that's a dumb thing. He tested the water and he needed some money.
All right.
He's like, lawsuit.
That's right. That's right.
Cash.
Okay. Yeah. Finally, a Michigan couple asked their landlord to make some repairs while they were out of town, but upon their return, they reviewed security footage showing the landlord to come in there naked and having relations with someone in their home. Guys, if this happened to you, would you A, ask for a rent reduction, B, move to another apartment, or C, watch the video again? Ogie.
D, live there rent-free for the rest of your life.
I think you would.
Go to all his properties, the occupants.
This is a weird thing.
By the way, if you don't do, and I need a washing machine while you're at it.
That's right. David.
Yeah, get a new repairman and don't pay rent.
Don't pay the landlord. Keith, what would happen?
I would own the place.
That's right.
He was the landlord.
He would be paying me rent.
Yeah, all right.
Naked, by the way.
Boy, it's a rough crowd.
With a hood on.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about hoods either. Now, that's all the time we have, except for this. Last week, a Delaware woman accidentally swallowed her hearing aid with a handful of vitamins. Now, the good news is she feels great because of all the vitamins. The bad news is if you call her, she has to put the phone to her belly button to hear you. It's very sad. It's very sad. All right, we're all sad. We'll see you next week with some special programs.